All right, everybody, welcome back to another fun-filled adventure that we like to call Pop Goes the Zebra. I'm joined once again by my illustrious co-host, Jesse the Ref. Jesse, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
You look like
Looks
shit.
like, thank you.
little inside,
Looks like,
little inside joke there.
what you got there? You got some pizza.
There's actually a purpose to this. We'll get back to that. Continue.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm doing good. Just getting some stuff squared away for the future for me. So it's an
Good.
interesting day. I will tell you, I'm very very excited. The next couple weeks get be in Tampa. Cannot wait for Tampa.
Yeah, I think I might go down to Tampa here in a couple weeks. We're gonna give that a go. I think I'll have to join you down there.
Oh yeah. The plan is to get
Stick to
some
the
beat
plan.
get some beach time, try to even out my
Farmer
whiteness and
stand.
tan, my farmer's tan. Uh just try to get a little bit of relaxation before the craziness of the collective weekend. So I'm
Oh yeah.
definitely looking forward to that. I went and bought me a brand new gear bag, a hard shell suitcase. So I feel like one of the cool people now that's got a nice gear bag.
Hey, welcome to the club, kid. So,
Right?
anyways, this pizza is actually a metaphor for what we're going to talk about today. Well, partially what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about how to make a road trip better. Some of the places we like to stop and eat. See how I did that there? There's my pepperonis falling to the plate. And lodging in kind and all that sort of thing. There's a military term for you, lodging in kind. Uh, we're going to talk about where we like to stay. Jesse and I were talking about it. We do kind of tend to differ. And we're going to talk about it. But since I'm holding food right now and it's delicious. And we're going to talk about where we like to stop first. We're out in the
I, I,
car.
sh- I was like, I shouldn't be hungry right now, but I really am. Looking at that pizza,
The
man.
finest frozen pizza that $3 can buy. Um, you're out and about. It's a long night. You've been at the show for hours. Jump into the car, and I'm driving, and I say to the car at large, "Where y'all want to eat, Jesse? What's coming to mind?"
Uh, Depending what part of the country or where I'm at, but 9 times out of 10, the general consensus is the awful waffle, the good old Waffle House.
It's awful, but
Um,
it's delicious.
it's there for you in your darkest hours. Those golden tiles are a beacon of heaven miles down the road. You see just the golden greatness. You're like, oh, Waffle House, we're
Hmm.
good to go. Plus, you're not going to break the bank. The best thing about Waffle House is you can. It's not top shelf food, but it's gonna hit the spot and it's not gonna cost you an arm and a leg. Especially when all you got was a $20 payoff, maybe.
And you can't afford any more arms and legs going away from you there. So, like, yeah. Uh,
I'm down to
zing,
one good one. I'm down to one
zing.
good one.
All right. So let's say we're not stopping to sit down and eat. What's your go-to? Where you like to hit?
Ooh, if it's a quick grab and go,
Grab and dash, baby.
yeah,
We got to
grab
hit
and
the open
dash.
trail.
Um, like I said, it depends on the hour. If it's a little bit earlier, like before midnight, there you've got a few more options. But my go-tos, um, I hate to say it, I hit up McDonald's. I know I can get me a large fry and some chicken nugs.
Chicken
Good,
nugs.
good to go.
I mean, you're
Taco
still a
Bell,
basic bitch for just going to McDonald's and selling out, but still chicken nugs.
chicken nugs. Uh, Taco Bell is a good one, but here's the problem: is if you're the driver, Taco Bell is not your friend because you just it's hard to sit there and try to eat. Um,
Depends on what you get.
Now, if 9 times out of 10, I'm always by myself, the best go to, because I don't have to worry about anybody else, is either finding a White Castle or Crystals. Sliders burgers.
I'm no
That's
longer
that's
hungry. White Castle. No, I
I
can't do their sliders, man. It just sits in my stomach like a rotten egg, and all of a sudden,
this is
Mm-mm.
day 2 of suffering from eating a whole bunch Sunday night watching the pay-per-view. I think
Can't do it.
I shoveled down 12.
That's just not for me. Taco Bell doesn't do anything to my digestive system, but you hit me with even just the smell of White Castle, my stomach just throws out the bird and the axe all at the same time, you know?
No, for me, I just love those sliders, man. They're perfect.
Slickety
Just
slide.
oh yeah. So that's I'm working a lot of shows in the South, so those are kind of like the standard go-tos. I know out
For
west,
that.
yeah, out west and up north, you might have a variety of things. I know the Northeast, a lot of guys talk about Sheets and Wawa. Like they have great like
Oh, do
sandwiches and
not
stuff.
besmirch the good name of Wawa to the wrong person. You may live to regret it. Um, up here
I'm
by
being
me,
I'm being told there's a place called like Bucky's that's further down south that's very
yeah.
similar to like Sheets and all that. I haven't tried that yet.
For me, like if it's a show, chances are a lot of the shows I do, I'm getting out of there midnight, 1 o'clock. So like I got a few hours to drive before my head touches a pillow. So generally speaking, I like to hit like a fast food joint. I'm a Wendy's guy by
Ooh.
trade, but I'll fuck around with some Arby's. I love their buffalo chicken sandwich. That thing is just gospel. Uh, like I'll do them all. Most of them, I just got to be in the mood for it. It'll come down to who's got the line, what I'm in the mood for, and then who's got the best fry, kind of in that order. Um, so for right off the bat, Wendy's has an awful French fry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have to ask for extra salt or anything like that to actually have any salt on the fry. So it takes a hit in that category. I know Mikey Blanton would love to hear that because it's kind of a hit or miss. I can't tell with him sometimes whether or not he claims he's reformed on his stance on Wendy's, but he has been known to throw some hate towards Wendy's. But he'd love to hear me kind of bag on Wendy's there for a minute. But overall, I think the best fry, hands down, is Arby's because that curly fry, man, I love it. For me, it's the Arby's curly fry.
Mm.
I know a lot of people still put their stock or whatever into the McDonald's fry, and that's fine. I'm old enough and long enough in the tooth, there might even be some gray hair up there, to remember well many years back before McDonald's changed their oil or however they made them. The McDonald's French fry you taste today is not the McDonald's French fry that they were spitting out 20 years ago. They were the
Yeah.
first. They were the first victim of that. Everybody has to eat healthy thing, and they've still got the best fry, but the gap between first and second place has shrunk considerably. I still maintain, and I'll sometimes get into that argument, and I'll say, like, okay, I'll disqualify Arby's because they have a curly fry and McDonald's just has a regular French fry. So okay, I can kind of see the argument there, but then there's still Rally's fries.
That's it. Checkers and Rallies. Those are
Mhm.
number one. Number one.
In fact, I have a bag of those frozen Rally's fries sitting in my refrigerator right now, waiting to be cooked with a porterhouse steak I'm going to eat on the night that this drops. Actually, Thursday night, I'm having a porterhouse. I'm having a guest over.
The Checkers that's not far from my house, I got fries from them one day and I took one bite and it tasted like
Heaven.
this. Well, it tasted like the skin off of a KFC chicken, like that season.
Oh, I love me some KFC chicken.
I turned my car around, I went back and I placed an order for more fries because I'm like, whatever y'all did today is
It was
the
blessed by
best y'all.
Jesus.
It was blessed by Jesus. It was the best fries I've ever had. I was so happy because like you're right, Checkers is number one. Checkers,
For me,
Rallies.
if we're going straight fry, I'm going Checkers.
Yep.
Because they can't be touched.
I won't argue that at all. That is
But
top tier.
although if McDonald's ever does break out that original recipe ever again of the McDonald's fry, I'm gonna be very split down the middle on where I go from there because But yeah, generally speaking, if it's just a quick smash dash and go, I'm gonna hit like a Wendy's or an Arby's, maybe a Taco Bell because I like their quesadillas. But
Oh
if I'm
yes.
gonna do a sit down meal with like wrestling comrades up here, we've got Denny's. We got Denny's to go to. The Denny's will do you in a pinch. There's a well-known Denny's up in my area where a lot of people have stopped at 2 and 3 in the morning to go get a stack of pancakes, maybe a T-bone.
You see, there's maybe 2 or 3 Denny's in the state of Tennessee. That's it. There's none anywhere near I live or near where I live.
Tell
But
you what,
when I'm in Alabama, though, the exit I usually stay at, there's a Denny's right across from my hotel.
I was gonna
So
say if you ever come up here, we'll do a Denny's. We'll do a Denny's run because it'd be on the way home from pretty much all the places I work.
oh yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my go-to in terms of if I'm going to stop somewhere. Now, a certain zebra would be very upset with me if we didn't at least touch upon another tried and true American tradition, well loved within the wrestling community. It is close and dear to a lot of our hearts, sent from God above Himself. We're talking about Cracker Barrel.
The gospel of the barrel.
In fact, I may have to go back and edit in like a choir of angels after I say Cracker Barrel on that because I feel like
Okay.
I might be
So
going a little Michael Bay with it here, throwing in some CG, but we do love us some Cracker Barrel.
little sidebar thing. Our zebra that we talk about, Chris, gonna name drop. We had this discussion that if Cracker Barrel would release a members only jacket like the Riviera Steakhouse jacket, we would 100% wear one. And I got to thinking, New South does an orange jacket for the winner of Haas. And the person who does the graphics and the screen printing for it is one of the people that runs the show. I have this thought. I should probably track down like a Cracker Barrel style members only jacket, have the logos put on it, and just make my own and send Chris a just Riviera Steakhouse Cracker Barrel jacket.
He's gonna shoot back. Where'd you get that? And he's gonna want one in like medium.
Oh, I would totally send him a schmedium. Like 100%. Like but I would have 2 made. I'd have one made for me and like the 2XL because I'm a fat ass, and I'd send him the schmedium.
I wear 2X, son of a bitch.
Yeah, but you carry it well.
Oh well, thank you. please fluff my ego just that little bit more, daddy likey. But
yeah, you're the one that seems to carry this whole thing.
Cracker Barrel is definitely go. In fact, I remember I remember I was with Jason Ayers, and again, I feel like I say this phrase a lot. He almost had a coronary when I told him I'd never been to Cracker Barrel.
Man, I can see his face right now.
I can see his face right now.
Cracker Barrel.
That son of a bitch had never had Cracker Barrel before.
Okay, so if we're gonna talk about it, what is what is your almost always go to? Like, this is what you will atypically get when you go to Cracker Barrel.
I forget the name of it because I'm terrible with names and things like it, but it's everything. It's the eggs, it's hash brown, it's bacon, it's ham, it's all the meat. Whatever that one is, the one I'm talking about. The heart attack plate is what I'm going to call it, but it comes with sausage and egg and ham, and
I think it's like the breakfast sampler, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I should know because Shiny Shoes got that Sunday when we went.
Shout out to Shiny Shoes.
I'm always going to shout out Shiny Shoes. See, here's the weird thing with me. For whatever reason, their sirloin is fantastic. So I get the sirloin. It's a good sirloin.
I go to some places that call themselves a steakhouse. They'll call out a sirloin.
And it's not that good.
They'll trot out a sirloin and it tastes like a shoe.
Cracker Barrel has got it right. Cracker Barrel.
And they ain't rocking like top tier, meat coming in, but they're making it work. Whatever they're doing, man. I need to get back there.
I get the mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese. baby carrots. And if I'm feeling frisky, I'll get the hash brown casserole as well.
Frisky. Ooh.
Yep, feeling a little frisky. No, the baby carrots, it's the whole brown, they're steamed and with brown sugar, and they're just like a nice little dessert. And then I have a couple biscuits with jelly as like the final dessert. Oh, it's just so good.
Ah.
All right.
As
So
he's got the light above him. Ah.
we could spend an entire 4 hours just going over Cracker Barrel, but I feel like we should
Cracker Barrel, I think, needs to be its own episode. We may have to get a couple of our illustrious friends on here. We may have to sit down with the Cracker Barrel menu, and we may
just
have
read
to
over
just
the menu.
read over what ones we like, read it all out. You know, love it, hate you, love it, loathe entirely. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever throw that one out there, but you never know. But yeah, Cracker Barrel gets an honorable mention here because
you know what's amazing? Cracker Barrel serving alcohol now.
We truly are living in a golden age.
Now, if only they would become a 24-hour facility. Even if the closest Cracker Barrel that's 24 hours is like an hour's drive from me, guess what? 2:00 in the morning, I'm gonna drive an hour.
Shit. Boy, howdy, don't you know it? Oh, God. Now, once we have partaken of the bread, we've broken bread with our comrades or continued driving into that sweet, sweet night, we're going somewhere. And it's not always our house or our apartment or wherever we happen to live. Sometimes we're on the road, we're staying overnight somewhere. Jesse, what do you like to do?
I am typically a hotel person.
Who's your hotel of choice?
I tend to go with the Hilton brands. I have a membership with Hilton and Marriott, and there's a specific reason why in two tiers. The reason why I stay in hotels, I was coming back from King of Trios 2019, and I'd been on the road for probably 22 hours, and I got into an accident because I was so tired. I wanted to just drive, get back, blah, blah, blah. And after then, I said, if it's more than 2 hours away and I'm tired, I'd rather spend the money for a hotel and sleep and be safe than get into another accident, hurt myself, or hurt another person.
Right.
And with that being said, I've stayed in the cheap $30, $40 motels when I was doing TV tapings many years ago. Yes, you're saving money, but are you getting a good night's sleep? Are you taking a shower that's not water that's moldy and mildewed? For me, I would rather spend the $80 or $90 for a quality room that's clean, comfortable bed, comfortable sheets, shower that gets super hot, big roomy shower so you can lift up, try to get the hot water under the sore spot of your shoulder where you were counting, and get the lower part of your back, and just you spend the money for
that
quality.
Sounds like you need a hot tub.
I do need a hot tub. Hotels with hot tubs are also a plus, or the whirlpool bath, in the room.
Yeah, I am a big supporter of aquatherapy on all levels. It works. I
Absolutely
cannot say enough good things about aquatherapy.
Places that have saltwater pools or saltwater hot tubs are absolutely amazing.
Unless you got a paper cut, then you're gonna feel it.
But it's great because it's almost like an Epsom salt.
Yeah,
it's almost like Epsom salt, and it really helps. But those are my main things of just. I go between Marriott and Hilton. I usually look to see, okay, this is the town I'm going to be in. What are the of these two?
What are my options?
What are my options? A Marriott may be cheaper than a Hilton one weekend, so I'll stay at a Marriott. Or Hilton stays very, very cheap. And I do this enough that I've almost I started doing this last year. What was it, July, when we started doing people slowly started doing shows. I started my account with Hilton around that time. I'm almost to Diamond. I'm almost a Diamond member with as much as I've stayed with a Hilton.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got the advice from referees that are in bigger companies, and it plays a part of the road trip thing. Is anytime, like, there's a specific gas chain or hotel or airline, sign up for their free rewards thing.
Oh
The
yeah.
fuel card gets you 3 to 5 cents when you get gas. The hotels, you build up points for free nights. Airlines, you build up miles. So the more that you're doing it, you should be getting a reward for all the effort that you're putting into it. So it's worthwhile to invest in those.
So, just a sidebar. You were talking about like the gas cards and stuff. Do y'all have a speedway down by you?
We do.
I love their rewards program. Love
I have a
it.
Speedway rewards.
Oh yeah.
Um, another good one. I don't know if you guys have them up north is Thornton's.
No, I can't say I've seen one, but I'm sure somebody will probably like, oh, there's one on the corner. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I suck.
they're great because they have great rewards for like by the time you hit like your fifth Monster energy drink, you get your sixth one free or free candy bars, stuff like this.
Kind of like with Speedway, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything you don't like about staying in a hotel?
Early checkout, like the checkout times. I always try to get late checkout just because, I might get into the hotel about 11, 12 o'clock, which I'll get up at a normal time. But then if the guys want to go eat or go to Buffalo Wild Wings or something, I'm not getting to the hotel till 2 or 3. So I want to get my sleep in, but I also don't want to be in a rush to get out.
Hey, let's take a quick pause for the cause. I've got to go let the cat out. I will be right back. Let's do the magic of editing, and by the time you even notice we're gone, we'll be back. And we're back. Sorry about that. I had to take the lemur outside. Anyways, we were talking about places we like to stay. You were saying that you are a hotel
I think
guy, and
yeah, because we actually you had just brought up something about the speedways, the gas stations.
Yeah, we talked about the different promotions there, but then I asked you about what you didn't like about the hotels, and you said,
yeah, the checkout times. Like I know some hotels are getting a little bit better about it. I remember some checkouts for hotels were like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Now they're like 12. You can get late checkout of like 12.
I've seen 3.
12. Yeah. Which, like I said, depending on how late you leave the show, get something to eat, go have a couple drinks or whatever, you're getting back to the hotel 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You only get a couple hours of sleep. So I try to maximize that. One of the other downsides of hotels, if you forget to put the do not disturb sign on the door and housekeeping comes in, it's that's the thing. There's not a whole lot that I hate about hotels. It's weird. I have this fascination with airports and hotels and places like that where you only get to spend a little bit of time, but you don't know a whole lot about them, and they're just very fascinating to me. So, I just love hotels.
So for me, I don't mind a hotel. I've done plenty of hoteling in my day. I was turned on to Airbnbs, specifically Collective in New Jersey a few years back. We rented out an entire like apartment complex pretty much, and we had run of the setup. I liked it. It was a lot more depending on where you're at too. Some of them aren't going to be this way, but it was a lot more cost effective for what I was trying to do because some of us are just kind of trying to travel on a budget and save what money we can. As you said, some of us are getting $20 paydays, if that. A lot of us are getting paid in exposure, brother. Which don't be that person that's getting paid in exposure, please. For the love of God, I beg you, have more self-respect. But anyway, I like the Airbnb because if you play your cards right, you get the right one. You've got more accommodations of what you can do. If it's gonna be a thing like for instance, a few days you're in New Jersey, New York area, and you got an Airbnb, you don't always have to order out. You can eat something right there. You can cook whatever. It's much cheaper. I like that the accommodations I've found are just a little bit better. And obviously, every place varies. That's going to fall into my what I don't like about it category. But yeah, for me, the Airbnb, I don't necessarily like a crowd of people at all times. I'm kind of an introvert. I don't really love being in large crowds at all times. I don't mind them, but after
I'm
close
I'm
of
the
business,
I'm the
I
same
just
way.
kind of want to be off by myself to unwind, to detox from the day, kind of take it all in, and just kind of have that quiet vibe. You don't always get that with a hotel. You got those paper thin walls sometimes where somebody's having a better night than you are, or possibly worse, depending on the circumstance. But that's what I like about the Airbnb. And for a fraction of the cost, and yes, there are going to be those that are bad out there, but a lot of these people that have Airbnbs, this is a good source of income for them. This is a part of their livelihood. They're not they're not going to be corporately funded and backed like say a Hilton or things of that nature, but the effort's going to be there. They're going to go the extra mile for you. Now, granted, as I keep saying, not all Airbnbs are good, but neither are all hotels either. You got to do a little bit of research for yourself on both, I feel, to find the right one for you. But I'm an Airbnb guy, for my buck, for what I'm trying to do, where I don't have to worry about neighbors. I don't have to worry about somebody housekeeping, any of that nonsense. I can just get up, I can shower, I can go. For me, that's it. Now, granted, you are responsible
Yeah.
for all the cleanup too. So if you're not a neat freak or can't at least pick up after yourself, you may be in trouble in Airbnb.
Yeah, I've never actually stayed in an Airbnb, and my first experience with one is going to be in Tampa. I booked an Airbnb. I think it's like a 10-minute walk from the venue.
There you
So,
go. Yep.
because I looked at the cost of hotels that were in the area because I wanted to stay kind of close. Where with Philadelphia, I was only a 5-minute Uber ride,
There you go.
but I ended up spending like almost $100 just on Lyft and Uber going back and forth between the venue and the hotel, plus the cost of the hotel. So the cost was getting up there. So I looked at the Airbnb route, and absolutely, if you want to do it on a budget and save some money, Airbnb is going to be the way to go. I,
Mm.
so many people recommend it to me. Definitely going to be the way to go for most people. But if you don't want to do that, you look at the hotels.
Yeah.
Uh, my personal preference, if I can find one, is the True by Hilton. They're comfortable little rooms. They're cozy, worth the money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Um. So yeah, that's kind of where we like to hang. For my money, like either way is good for me. Obviously, I'm. You and I have both had times in our life where we literally had to dig a hole in the ground, throw our sleeping bag in it, and cover it with leaves so we could get a good night's sleep. A pillow and a blanket is a creature comfort for us.
You can
The
use a
next
rock,
guy,
use a
yeah,
rock or something.
I've used a hollowed out log for a pillow. You'd be amazed. I shudder to think what might have been crawling on me though. But you know what? After 36 hours of being up, I was thankful for that hollowed out log. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. Um, I would say that definitely, depending on what your level of comfort is, what you're looking for, either will work for you so long as you feel safe and you trust where you're at and have done the research for it. There's no reason why it should be a hard decision one way or the other for you between a hotel and an Airbnb. As long as you've done the research on it, make sure it's a reputable area, make sure it's a reputable host if you're staying on the Airbnb side. But either way will get the job done. Um, so now that we've talked about our likes in terms of food and where we like to crash and things like that, how do you like to break up the monotony of a drive if you're not riding with a car full of people? What's
Um,
your go-to? What how do you break up the dull moments?
uh, most of my road trips consist of me driving solo,
Mm-hmm.
and it is exactly that. It is monotonous. It is boring at times. Driving to a town or a venue or whatever, what have you, I usually just go straight there. Uh, I've got playlists that I can pull up. I've got several concerts that I enjoy listening to because I know by the time I'm hitting the last few songs, I know I'm getting close to where I need to be. Um, Tried and true podcasts, obviously.
Okay.
Great thing just to listen to. Kind of instead of just listening to music and zoning out, you can listen to the podcast and kind of engage your brain and think about things. But that's my typical thing. I just listen to music, listen to podcasts. When it's the drive home, like the next day I've woken up from the hotel, or if I get to a town early, uh, I break up the drive by looking for antique stores and collectible stores and stuff like hobby shops because I'm a nerd. I like to collect. I look for NASA stuff, obviously. Uh,
No.
I deal with model trains, so I like to find hobby stores for that kind of thing. And it was like my drive back from Indianapolis was like 5.5 hours. Well, I broke it up like, oh, hey, there's a span of like antique shops. I'm going to get off this exit and go hit these places and then get back on the road. And that's how I break the drive home up. But usually when I'm going to a town, I try to get there as early as I can so I can explore.
Hmm.
But if I can't, I just, listen to some music, cruise control, go.
Yeah, that's about the same for me. Like I said, a lot of the places I work at are, no more than 3 hours away from my house. Um, so generally speaking, it's turn the GPS on, go find the closest, whatever we've just mentioned earlier in the show, and then get out of the city or wherever I'm at with my skin intact. Uh, Podcast or a phone call to a loved one, depending on what time it is. Um, I'm big on carpool karaoke, and I'm not talking about James Corbin. I'm talking about finding those karaoke
Yep.
videos on YouTube and making a playlist for them and conduct your own little concert. You'd be amazed how much fun you had because one, there's nobody around but you and Jesus. So you can
Or
sing as off key as you want. You can sing as loud as you want. You can try some stuff and have as much fun as you want. I find it
or
much more fulfilling than just listening to the radio.
or you're performing for the people in the car in hopes that they're going to join in with you.
No, I would never do that to the people in the car because I don't want to get shot. I don't know how the hell they smuggled a gun into the car, but I feel like the minute karaoke breaks out, um, yeah. What's that TikTok? Do you want to build a snowman? That'll be it.
Okay, I have a strong distaste for that song.
It doesn't have to be a snowman.
All right, guys, it's been great. I'll see you later. No,
Somebody's not feeling the Disney vibe here tonight, which
I do not
I'm a
like
big
Frozen.
Disney nut.
I love Disney, hate Frozen.
I feel like Frozen is kind of
I have reasons. I have
to me, it's a
reasons.
one-trick pony. People can sit there and say all they want. Oh, I love Elsa and Anna. Bullshit. You just love the song.
There is
love the
better
song.
quality Disney
Oh, we lived through it.
music.
We lived through the Disney golden age, dude. We lived through it. That late 80s to mid 90s run they had is untouchable.
Oh,
Untouchable by
period.
anything else that Disney's ever done, excluding perhaps the Marvel run. But there you got to start splitting hairs. Is it really a Disney thing or is it a Marvel thing where they just had the IP?
Yeah.
But I digress. But anyway, like a car concert, a karaoke concert in the car is also fun. But there again, I'll turn on a documentary, and go back to the GPS and just drive home and listen to a documentary too. Like YouTube Premium has its perks.
Yeah, I feel like as much as I'm on the road, I should invest in that. Last fall, my girlfriend and I were driving back from Gatlinburg, and she put on documentaries while we were driving. Of course, she's watching it, but I'm listening to it.
Oh, of course.
And it made the trip a little bit more exciting because it was different. It was a little bit more engaging hearing the documentary and just be like, oh, I didn't
Yep.
know that. That's kind of
Um.
neat.
Now, granted, I can't be fudging around with too much while I'm in, like, if I'm out in like open plains on I-65 or whatever, where it's just country as far as I can see in any direction. You got like 2 cars you've seen in the last hour. I might fudge around with my camera and phone a little bit, but if you're like driving through Chicago at 1 in the morning, you're not playing with your phone too much. But the other thing I like is audiobooks. I am a big audiobook guy, and that stems from even my Monday through Friday. I deliver semi truck parts, and that you know, there's only so much sports radio you can listen to. I am not a fan of the music of today's age.
Um,
I have hit that point in my life where I'm the old man that it's not
so
music back in my day.
so what's like a top what's been like your top audio book that you've listened to recently?
Recently, so I'm big on like video game novelizations, things like that.
Okay.
I can give you some of the stuff I've been listening to. But Alien Isolation actually has an audiobook of the game itself, so that was pretty fun. Gave a lot of backstory to the main character, things like that. I'm actually listening to an audiobook at the moment called Apocalypse Z. It's
Okay.
actually out of Spain. It was translated and it's now performed. And it's like a zombie apocalypse, but it's happening in another country entirely. Because we've seen it, the zombie apocalypse in LA and New York and Philly and
Georgia.
Atlanta and yeah, Georgia. Coral.
Coral.
We never really think about the other, countries of the world, you know, United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru. I couldn't help it. So it's kind of fun
Wait,
listening to that because I have
hang on.
no clue where half of these places are
Hang
that
on.
they're talking about
I
in
gave you a quick
Spain.
I gotta give you a quick timeout.
What?
The greatest thing is that I've actually witnessed Rob Paulson sing that in person without anything in front of him. Like no sheet. He knows that song and sang it for some people at a convention. It is the greatest thing ever.
Well, firstly, that couldn't have waited until I was done talking. And secondly, of course he could do it off the top of his head. The man's been doing it for 20 years. I should hope he knows that song by heart by now.
I the only reason I brought it up is because I have such a short-term memory that I would forget to bring it up.
Ah, okay. But yeah, anyways, back to what I was saying. So there's been that. I wish a lot of this is on just on YouTube. I don't really have a lot on my actual phone, but if I did, I would definitely have my Harry Potter series on there. Jurassic Park, a lot of Michael Crichton. I'm a big Michael Crichton guy. Timeline being my favorite, believe it or not. Everybody hears Michael Crichton and they immediately go to which is great, but I like Timeline personally because now you're talking about quantum physics and time in holes in the space time continuum and things of that nature. So that's always fun. Don't watch the movie that they made. I don't care if Gerard Butler's in it. It was dog shit. It was the drizzling dog shits. And please don't ever watch that movie ever, please, God. That is not how that book goes at all. And oh God, I need a drink. But yeah, stuff like that. I'll give anything a listen. Um, yeah, that's mostly been a lot of that. Just a lot of audiobooks, man.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs. I've been known to dig that out of the closet every so often, then listen to that. I'll put the lotion on the skin.
I did back in the
Goodbye,
day.
horses.
Back in the day when I was still a Doctor Who fan, I would listen to the audiobook series by Big Finish,
Uh-huh.
which was really good because they had a lot of like continuing stories and um they were great listens, especially hopping in a car, but since I unfortunately no longer care about the fandom, it's kind of hard to listen to those, but I definitely agree audiobooks are a good go-to.
I've forgot to mention one of my favorite things to throw on because one, it eats up a shit ton of time, and two, what it's about. Oh, two, what it's about. I love there's this audio drama. It's not really a an actual audio book. It's more of a audio theater. Batman, No Man's Land, which to me
Okay.
is kind of, you can see some of where some of the ideas for the Dark Knight Rises came from. Gotham gets cut off from the rest of the country. It is entitled a No Man's Land, and all of the rogues gallery become like turf warlords. The Joker takes up the harbor and the Bowery, and Poison Ivy naturally takes over the park, and Two-Face takes over the area that's around the Hall of Justice, and things like that. And it kind of becomes gang warfare. It's not the general Batman story where Batman swoops in, solves the problem, and turns the bad guy over to the police, because there's really no police. But the police kind of form their own gang too. So it's a really fun little game that is played there. I've always liked that. But if I had to pick my favorite, I got a hold of the Star Wars radio dramas from the 80s and 90s. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good time.
Ooh. Okay. So, what's your opinion on listening to stand-up comedy while you're driving?
It's not that I don't like it. I just don't really ever think to throw it on, to be honest with you. It just depends on, length of the drive, things like that, what I got time for. Because I'll be honest, the problem with stand-up comedy is you got to listen to it in its entirety, in my opinion. You can't just like listen to it for like 5 minutes and
Yeah.
I was only on a 5-minute drive. I'll come back to where where was I? Yeah,
No,
I got to start over again.
It's got to be, at least, it's a 3.5 hours drive. You can knock two like 90-minute specials in there or something like that. I feel like having something like stand-up comedy on a drive home, or those long late night drives, I think that's a bit more beneficial, because it's engaging you to laugh, and that's keeping you awake and keeping you focused. So I feel like, in my opinion, those are good for especially late nights. If I want a good belly laugh, and you'll agree with me on this, just toss on Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, Sir Robin of the Furry Arms.
I as soon as we're done with this, I know I'm gonna pull up a little bit of Robin Williams and watch that, because I just need a good laugh after today.
When I'm done with this, I'm getting on Call of Duty after I feed the animals and take out the trash. I'm gonna go to bed.
So, somebody just poked their head up for like 2 seconds.
Rosie? Oh yeah, she heard food. Rosie, you want to say hi? Rosie? No.
She got her cameo.
She's kind of looking up.
She got her cameo in.
Rosie the Basset Hound. She is an attention whore to the nth degree. Like, you walk into a room and most dogs bark or they'll run. This one just lays on its back, rub my belly. No, actually, I don't think I've heard her bark, but maybe 3 times in the 6 years we've had her.
Okay.
She does not bark.
Good dog.
Yeah. We've had her the least longest, and she, doesn't bark. The one we've had the longest barks at the drop of a leaf, but of course he's a Boston Terrier Rottweiler wannabe. He looks like a miniature Rottweiler. He thinks he's a Rottweiler, but he's a Boston Terrier Jack Russell mix.
My roommate has 3 cats, so we just have 3 fat cats. Oh my god, these are chonkers, man. These are
heckin' chonkers.
Bootsy is basically a butterball turkey.
Don't say that around me. Come mid-November, I'll start looking around for something to deep fry, because I will deep fry a turkey with little to no notice.
I was gonna say easy there. I was gonna say easy there, Alf. You ain't eating the cat.
Hey,
there's
Alf was good.
There's a deep reference for somebody.
But yeah, anyways, we're starting to get off course here. I think that we've more or less hit the points we wanted to hit on this one. Who's that? Who's moving around?
Another cameo.
Harley. Hello, Fuzzy. The furry fox. But yeah, we've kind of hit on all the topics we wanted to hit for today. We just want to give you guys the the inexperienced zebra, or even the burnt out zebra, some ideas of where you might want to go and do, and how to change up your routine and things like that on a trip cup that is longer than an hour or two, where you've got to stop and kind of stretch the legs. Um, yeah. So before we sign off here, we wanted to make an announcement on to the plannings for the future of the show. We're actually going to go down to one episode a week. We're going to release on Thursdays now, at still at noon, but we just felt that it was easier to coordinate schedules, because we're both kind of busy right now in our personal lives. Jesse just started a new job. I'm house hunting. So between the two of us, man, sometimes our schedules just don't line up. It's easier for us to do the one show and have a solid release date, because we'd been saying originally, we wanted to do Monday and Wednesday and Saturday, and just that was just a lot for us to do. So oh, pardon me. Pardon me. So moving forward, that is where we're going to be at with it, with exception to the two specials that we're going to release in April, that being Apollo 13 and the Titanic specials. But yeah, until then, look for us now starting on Thursdays. Jesse, anything else you want to add?
Uh, you know, since we're talking about the road trip stuff, and this is something I want to impart to people who just literally look at it as like, go to this town and leave and come back. If you have the time and you have the money, I highly encourage you to take time and explore where you're going, because the opportunities of travel we kind of took for granted this past year, where a lot of people didn't get to go anywhere. So now things are slowly opening back up. Take these opportunities to hop in cars to a place that you've never been, or if you're driving by yourself, give yourself an extra day to go sample the local food. Find a hole in the wall place, go find a cool little knickknack store that's only in this town. Take advantage of your opportunities of traveling, to not only do business, but to make it a personal thing too. It's just good for the soul to kind of get out and wander and explore. That's just kind of my philosophy on it. For so many years that I myself never really traveled, and now that I have the opportunities to travel, I'm making the most of it, and I've been so happy. Yeah, I've spent a little bit of money, but in my mind, it's been worth it to explore and enjoy what I'm doing.
This is Harley. This is our fox. Corgi Basset Hound mix. She can be a bit neurotic, but we've always said she'd have been perfect in a one like a little lonely old lady house, just a 1-to-1. But not to say that she's bad with other dogs. She just craves all the attention. She doesn't like to share. But she's clearly loving that butt rub though. Jesse, any words of wisdom for us before we head out of here?
Just the same old: do not add to the population, do not subtract from the population, and please do not be the reason why we have a safety briefing on Monday.
Don't forget to have your pets spayed or neutered. Control the pet population. So for the
Bob
crew,
Barker.
Hello, Bob Barker. So, hello, Harley. For the crew of Pop Goes the Zebra, I want to wish all of you watching a good night, and have a pleasant evening. Peace.